Welcome, kiddies, to the Creepshow. 5 tales brought to you from the mind of Stephen King with a vision of George Romero, meant to remind you of the horror comics of old. Sit back and watch if you dare.
Young Billy is a fan of these comics, but his cruel father doesn't approve. Billy manages to sneak a peek at the stories waiting inside before his father throws the book in the trash.
It's a pity he didn't notice the ad young Billy ripped out first, though.
Our first tale is Father's Day, and it follows the rich, spoiled descendants of a bitter old man who was killed by his unappreciative daughter.
Admittedly, it's not very scary. You probably figured out early on that this father is going to come back from the grave and get his revenge. But you're going to have to sit around and watch these dreadful people for a while first.
Even an actor like Ed Harris can't make this short more interesting. But fortunately, the eventual payoff is delightedly gruesome. Next, we see The Lonesome Death of Geordie Verrill. It's an accurate adaptation of the short story Weeds, and Geordie is played by Stephen King himself. He shows he's just as adept at being humorous as he is at giving you chills, and the special effects bring to life Geordie's predicament very well.
I also recommend the story if you can find it, so you can see what it's like inside Geordie's head as he becomes more plant than animal.
Our next gruesome story is Something to Tide You Over, where a rich man gets revenge on his cheating wife and her lover. It stars Leslie Nielsen and Ted Danson, 2 actors probably better known for making you laugh, but they do a good job of building up the tension here. The short builds slowly, leading to the ghastly appearance of the drowned lovers come back to get their revenge.
We want to see you, Richard. We want to see you, Richard.
Aren't they a sight to behold?
What follows is The Crate. It's the story of a man with an obnoxious wife who sees a fantastic opportunity when he discovers a monster stored in an old box at the college he works for.
True, this monster doesn't resemble the creature described in the story at all.
In fact, it looks like a cheap Yeti or ape costume. But otherwise, it's an accurate adaptation, and Adrienne Barbeau plays Billy so perfectly annoying that you know you were happy to see her gobbled up at the end.
But now we get to a tale of true horror. A horror that, while perhaps slightly exaggerated from what could happen to you, is based on a creature that you are probably all too familiar with in your daily life. Disgusting, creepy, crawly little creatures that feast on hair and fingernails and are known to carry disease. They live within the walls of your home and are dreadfully difficult to get rid of, no matter how hard you try.
In They're Creeping Up on You, well-named Upson Pratt is a corporate bigwig who treats the little people below him horribly. He's also a germaphobe living in a hermetically sealed apartment. But one night, when the power goes out, he gets some visitors. Hundreds, if not thousands of them.
If this tale doesn't make your skin crawl while you squirm in your seat, I don't know what will.
Look at them. Look at the unnatural way they skitter around. Look at how many of them there are. No amount of stomping or spraying is going to stop all these monsters.
Aren't you glad this is happening to an awful man who deserves such torture, and not you? You have been good enough to not deserve such torture, right? Are you sure?
Here's special effect artist Tom Savini making a cameo as one of the garbage men. Oh look, Billy's package has arrived. Isn't that nice? If you'd like to own a copy of the comic book adaptation of this film, you're going to have to pay a pretty penny, as they are rare.
But in the meantime, we can all enjoy this film. Weeds in the Crate have never been collected in any of Stephen King's short story collections, and the others were written specifically for the film. So I recommend you check this one out in order to be exposed to these haunting tales. King, Romero, and the Creep would return 5 years later for a sequel, but you'll only have to wait a day for me to tell you all about it. Until then, kiddies, pleasant dreams.
Mm.